Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of PayPal, ticker symbol PYPL. And so I'm pretty excited to be going over this chart today because earnings are coming up on February 7th in the after hours. And I do want to note that if you're interested, I would be happy to stream the earnings call that is going to be occurring at 2 p.m. Pacific on February 7th. So that's Wednesday, and that is 5 p.m. Eastern. So if you'd like to see me stream that, let me know in the comments below. But before we get on to the earnings, I just wanted to go over the chart. I think it's actually been really interesting the past week. Following last week's video that came out following Friday, January 26th, we closed right around this yellow downtrend. So I felt like it was in a little bit of a precarious situation being right on that line. We then got a move up about 3%, a little over 3% on Monday, January 29th. Then it looks like we put in like a spinning top reversal signal, came back down to retest the yellow line. And now, following February 2nd, last Friday, we closed at $62.42. And so I feel that $62 is a pretty significant level. It just really marks very clearly being above both of these lines. And so that would make me think that if by earnings, if the price is still above $62, that I would think price would go up following earnings. But if it does break below, or perhaps break below around 61.50, I do think that could show signs of some weakness, and that we could see either a retest of this orange downtrend, which is the top of this bigger picture wedge. And that could actually be good long term. But as far as earnings go, it's quite possible that if they are bad, or the response is bad, that we could actually see a retest of this line at $57.29, right around there. So I do think it is, still kind of precarious, but if we are above $62, that would indicate to me that there is some strength in the stock, and that we could be moving up to test these higher levels, like at 72.50 or 76.50. But I do think that it would be really good to get an idea of at least where these levels have come from, these peaks, these dips. And so one thing that we could do to look at the chart to gain a little bit more insight would be to do some Fibonacci retracements. And so one of those that I would like to do, I could do one all the way from up here to down here, but that wouldn't really provide too many levels in the area that we're interested in. So I'm just going to do a Fibonacci retracement from the top here down to the bottom here. And so with those levels marked, we should be able to identify some levels that stand out as significant, like the 50% retracement here at a price of $63.39. It does look like it served as resistance here, with that being a local top, really like a triple top there, testing that level before bouncing down, breaking below the 382 at $60.29, coming down to test this line that I've drawn at $57.29, but perhaps more importantly, testing the 236 level at a price of $56.45. And let's see, the low on the day of January 17th was $56.47. So just 2 cents above that level. So pretty cool. I do think that, this Fibonacci retracement does shed some light on this price action. And then also looking at this top over here, it does look like it was right around the 618 retracement at a price of $66.50. We did get an open above that level, but on that day, it was a pretty big red day, opening up very high, but then closing pretty low relative to the previous day's close, going up just over 6% prior to getting up to that level, and then the day following going down about 3%, a little over 3%, and then testing again this 50% retracement. So I do think that the 618 was a pretty significant level before returning down to test the 382, and is just kind of residing between the 382 382 and the 50% retracement there right now. And then also I can move the bottom of this retracement to that level to get an idea of the finer scale, the finer tuned movements of the price. And it does look like, I guess, kind of generally that the 236, right around $61.83 price has resided right around there. So I do think that that could be a key level to be paying attention to as far as earnings go. Rather than being just above $62, which I have marked by this alert, I think $61.83 also being kind of the middle ground between $61.50 and $62. That is this 236 retracement, which could be pretty significant. So if we are above 61.83 before earnings, I do think that could suggest strength prior to earnings and that price will go up. But, if price could go down, where do I see it going to? And so that will be another Fibonacci retracement, but not going from a high to a low, but rather a low to a high. And so that level that I'll be looking at is going from the low here on October 27th to the high on January 22nd. All right, and so looking at that retracement, we can see that to the downside, there are some levels that do stand out. One being the 618 at a price of $57.11, being pretty similar to the red dashed line that I have there. Another one that's not such a bad drop would be the 50% retracement at a price of $59.23, and that could coincide with testing the top of the wedge. Other levels to the downside would include the 786 at a price of $54.09, and that would include filling this gap to the downside at a price of $54.72. So that is also quite the possibility. If we are below 62, or considering the 382 at a price of $61.35, that could be another key level to be considering before earnings. Really, if we have price above $61.35 or ranging between that and $62, I do think that could suggest strength and that price is above both of these downtrends and that it would go up following earnings. And if it is below $61.35 before earnings, that could suggest weakness and that these lower levels might be tested following earnings and potentially both of these gaps to the downside. So that is something to keep in mind. But, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.